Well, I think we're going. Yeah, there you go. All right. So this is where this is gonna be a quick little cool video, which is about this is for like guys like me that like mostly work by yourself, and so there's times where I struggle and I get like I don't want to I just get like either lonely or bored or it's like and that's just an excuse because I signed up for this, and I remember when I first started getting into production in big time in LA in maybe 2000, 2001, 2002. I'd started my studio in Hollywood. And I had a friend who was a producer who was a kind of a big name producer. And we were working on some projects. And then all of a sudden he's like, I'm out of the business. I'm done. He didn't want to do it anymore. And I was like, well, what, you're doing good. Like, you have this house and a big mixing board and, you're working on good records. Like, and what he told me was, he said, when I first started this, I guess he's probably about my age, so he probably started kind of 80s, 90s. He said, when I first started this, like I wanted to do like cool bands and like make music with people. You grew up hearing about like Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin and, the Beatles and how they made records and castles and, you know what I mean? And all this stuff. And all this, what they used to call the magic or whatever. And it says, and what it's ended up becoming is me sitting by myself tuning vocals. He says, that's the majority of my life is sitting by myself, editing, programming, tuning vocals. A lot of tuning vocals. He was a pop guy. And he said, I didn't sign up for this, man. I don't want to do this anymore. And I was like, really, man? Like, it's not, I don't know. So fast forward to like 18 years later, 19 years later, and I've had feelings of that, like where you get overwhelmed with it. You're like, man, growing up, like into like all these bands and, Rush and AC/DC and Van Halen and, all these great records and, and then, your career goes in a direction where, you're by yourself a lot. I play all the instruments. I mean, and it's great. And that's the thing, like it is what it is. And then I think that the 14 months of the pandemic has, kind of solidified this as this is the way we a lot of times work now. And I was going through a phase this past year where I just was like, man, it wasn't even like it was sorry about that. It wasn't even like I was in a negative state. It was more just I couldn't get myself moving with it. Like I just got to a point where I just was struggling to just to work, and just like finding like, I don't know. But that's the reality, that's the reality for most of us. So what's the solution? I guess in the military, they just used to tell us, suck it up. Just suck it up, man. You just got to deal with it. You just got to because I can't not be all. I got to do my best at my job, and I've got to stay focused, and I got to be able to work every day. And maybe sometimes that's a part of what these videos are about. If I'm by myself so much, it's like since I'm like, oh, maybe I'll just make a video, man, and like maybe like have some other people say hello to me and YouTube. I don't know, but it's good things. My buddy Nate came up yesterday, and we worked a little bit on some programming, and that's where I'm at. I asked him. I said, "How do you feel about working?" He's alone a lot. His studio's in a house with a bunch of other musicians, so I think he's more surrounded by people than I am. I'm pretty much here. I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. This is pretty much the domain. So, but so I'm taking my own advice. You just got to suck it up, stay positive, and make your commitments. I mean, I work off of a scheduling book. I'm still old school, man. This is like 80s style, like a week at a glance, day planner, day timer. That's just better for me than with the phone, with the notes and the calendar. I don't really like doing it like that. It's funny. I actually find it slow. And also because I'm teaching and scheduling, a lot of times I'm kind of working with one hand, and the phone, it's just easier for me to just write, 11 a.m. Brad. I get it. So, but find what works for you. And the reason I think that things like the thing that helps me is having a planner. If you use Calendar or Google Calendar or Notes or whatever, and set your alarms and stick to your commitments, right? I guess focus on what you can do, right? Can I change can I change the state of affairs right now in the world with music and with this? Maybe a little bit in my own reality, but maybe not. I don't even know. But what I can do is stick to my commitments, which is this morning I committed. I got up. I had to get my kids to school. I had to make lunch for my son. I had to put the dishes away. I had to walk the dog. I had to put the food in the dog bowl. And then I had a Zoom with a client, and I was present for all those things. And then I'm coming in here because I start teaching in an hour and 40 minutes. I want to go through this drum programming one more time. We're going to be tracking guitars. These are those cues. This is bass and drums. And I've been learning a lot. I've really come to the realization that I really like Superior drummer, and I just need to, I'm sticking to that as my primary. And then the Steven Slate drums is cool too. And using that and battery more as almost like a sampler, because this is the jam here, this, and just the overs in the rooms just sound like that just sounds really good. And that's the hardest part, I mean, getting, kicks, snares, and toms are important, but they're easy to kind of navigate with trigger and all this stuff. It's getting the cymbals and the hi-hat and just the overall picture of the drum to feel more real. And I find this to be the realest. There's cool things about addictive drums, but addictive drums, the cymbals sound cheap to my ears. Like this sounds more like a cymbal than the cymbals in addictive. Slate is cool too. More like a little bit more of a distant thing. They're nice. They're a little darker, but they're cool. And what I've been experimenting with is doing the hi-hat, programming the hi-hat in Superior, and then having a little bit of the Slate in there to kind of give it, I don't know, it's just starting to sound, it's sounding cooler. I'll play you guys a little bit of where I'm at. So what I do is I just take my Superior and just copy paste it onto battery and Slate. Slate plays the whole thing the same. Battery, all I've got on there is a kick and snare on C1, and D1, so that's only going to react to the kick and snare. So that really works. This really works as if, this works like Trigger does when I'm mixing. So there you go. I'll play you guys a little bit of this. And I'm not going through the system, so you're just hearing it on the blue, on the mic. Anyway, that makes me kind of happy. I'm getting better at this programming thing. But, so I'm going through these 3 cues with the last little bit with the drums and bass, and then I'm going to play through them a little bit on the guitar, because tonight Nate's going to come up and he's going to sit in while I track all the guitars, and if he's got some ideas for guitar parts or sounds, and we're going to get these done. So these are those 3 cues that I'm going to send to this company, and I just want them to be the best they can be. There's a kind of a pop punk one that yeah, that's going to be cool. Nate came in and really spiced up the drums. I had done the original programming, and he just did some cool stuff. He did this hi-hat thing. It's crazy. Now, where is it? Yeah, I'm going to steal all his chops, though. Where is it? Oh, wait, I'm here. Yeah, it was fun watching him do it. Anyway, so that's Q2, and then Q3 is... I'm not playing the guitars because I'm going to be, giving these cues to somebody. So, but the guitars, this one really was cool. It's almost like kind of like a Dawkins winger kind of, it's got that psst, 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 kind of like Looks to Kill, or like, not Dr. Phil. I don't know what it's got, but the guitars are very kind of like LA 80s, There's like a tom thing. Yeah, it's this funny little stuff, cool stuff. Anyway, so that's the game plan, is to make your commitments. So I'm telling myself this: make my commitments. Put your stuff in my book, set my alarms, and stick to my commitments. And it just makes everything so much easier, right? And try not to overthink it, And also, I guess for me too, stay positive, right? I've been reading this book, it's called F Yourself. It's by, who's it by? Check, this book is cool, man. Oh, God almighty. Yeah. Stop! Where do I get to it? There we go. Yeah. This is the book. I don't know if you guys can see it. Un-F Yourself. It's by Gary John Bishop. It's kind of, yeah. It's been helping though, and it's not there's no concept in there that's like revolutionary to me, because I've always kind of been that type of person in a way, and but just the way he put it all together, it's helped me. So that's it. Make your commitments. Stick to your commitments. Learn how to program drums better. I mean, 90% of this is all me. 99. I mean, really, the basic programming is all me. And, Nate was like, yeah, you did good, man. It sounds good. So that's pretty cool, man. So anyway, that's it. Yeah, I got to get to it, man. Like and subscribe.